Welcome to the Game Dungeon, sinners. Today we have your favorite, SiN. Now I have to warn you, I'm not big on nostalgia. I like old games if there's something good to them, but I don't like them because they're old. Well, usually I trust my judgment on these things, but this is one game I think I could be a bit blind on. So you'll have to spot check me if you think I'm losing sight. Okay, lots to say, but we can do that in-game. Let's get started. Yeah, I'm not even gonna show you the intro video. I'm not ready yet. Let's just go straight to our Spartan game menu. You know, this menu sucked even at the time because we have no music and it's resolution locked. I'm being nice and stretching it for you. This is what it looks like at 1080. Have fun playing this at 4K. And we start with a cutscene. Our IT guy gets a call that a bank's being robbed, so our protagonist, John R. Blade, gets ready to go fight some crime. This game takes place in 2037, even though those PCs are looking pretty 90s to me. Police are almost irrelevant, it's all corporate security now. And Blade's the CEO of his own company, Hardcore. Yeah, we're establishing pretty quickly what kind of game we have here. And this may look clunky, but this cutscene is pretty state-of-the-art for 98, especially on the Quake 2 engine. Man, old game engines get weird. Like, I can't tell if those Coke cans are meant to be brighter than everything else on purpose, or if that's an engine limitation, or they just forgot a value. And off we go with a pigeon escort. Yeah, the loading screens are resolution locked too. And here is what may be the most famous scene from this game. We have a chase cam here of the pigeon with triumphant music playing, some cop cars casually getting blown up by a rocket launcher below outside the bank. Wait, hold up. Is that the French flag? Why would they have that? This takes place in the US. Oh, those are the police lights. Quake 2 engine, ladies and gentlemen. So the pigeon flight continues. Yep, there it is.
Hey, that was a good shot.
That's nothing compared with last week. I shot this cop in the head. He never even saw it coming.
These are the bad guys, by the way. And now time to mow them down with a minigun. Yeah, you immediately know what you're getting with this game. But I want to cut the sound here so you can hear the music. We have a sort of industrial remix of Flight of the Valkyries. I like how there's this sort of wailing to the instruments. Listen to that. Okay, it's building. Wait for it. Almost there. Okay, drums and bass, kill everyone. Yeah, so this is a good start to the game. Just kill everything. Actually, you're not supposed to kill the cops or your troops. So it's a thinking man's shooter, I guess. Well, we land on the roof and head in to go shoot people. Oh look, I missed an objective. I didn't do a good job protecting my troops. Yeah, to this day, I have no idea if the objectives affect anything. I think you may get slightly different dialogue, and I think there was one you have to fail later. I don't know, let's shoot people. Oh, another cutscene.
This is taking far longer than anything we had planned. If you don't start moving faster, I'll get someone who will.
We're moving as fast as we can, sir.
Well, it's not fast enough.
Yeah, you can tell the writing in this game isn't really great, but we'll get to that. And even now, I still get this game mixed up with Max Payne, since both games have a blonde guy with an Italian-sounding name staging a bank heist with a bunch of henchmen by blasting into the vault. And here we are. Okay, wow. This is something I'm only consciously aware of now, but the movement in this game is weird. I'm not 100% sure if this is just me running this on a modern system, but Blade seems to lurch forward erratically, like I'm perpetually lagged. Is this a Quake 2 thing? Did Quake 2 do this? No, feels pretty smooth. So this doesn't happen in Quake 2 or almost all first-person shooters made, but what I'm trying to say here is I'm sorry if this makes you nauseous. I'm swimming in game physics. Okay, now the first time I played this game, I saw the bad guys, started shooting, then was disappointed. Man, look at that. 5 or more shots to bring him down? Our very first enemies are light bullet sponges, huh? Not what I want to see. Then I had a straight shot later and bam, 1-shot kill. What? Oh, the armor actually does something. Oh my God. Now some of you may be saying, so what? But this is the first time I ever saw something like this in a first-person shooter. Mind blown. Yeah, this game has body region-based damage on the enemies. I'm pretty sure House of the Dead had this, but SiN was still one of the early ones. It works both ways too, since you can salvage armor to protect different parts of your body. Unfortunately, you have to check it manually, so you're gonna be hearing Blade say, nope, don't need it. And already got it. Way too many times.
Already got it.
Now this is before ragdoll physics, but where you shoot somebody partially determines how they land. So since this game incentivizes headshots, you're gonna be seeing this dignified pose a lot. Yeah, that's how they should bury him too. I like the trash talking from Blade.
Who's your daddy?
He's sort of a follow-up act to Duke Nukem, but Duke was stealing half of his lines anyway. The enemies mouth off too, but one line always bugged me.
Who are you supposed to be, Barney Miller?
Barney Miller. Yeah, the cop sitcom from the 70s. This is 2037. The show would be over 60 years old, going on 70. That's kind of like making references to Car 54 Where Are You Now? Except older. Will some people know about it? Sure. Would a bunch of skinheads robbing a bank know that? No? The action is good. Seeing bad guys pile into the doorway to come kill me lets me know I'm in the right game. Oh shit, I shot my own guys. Yeah, I don't know if there's a penalty for that. I've never checked to see if there's a penalty for executing all the civilians and your own people. I kind of need reasons to kill people. The most I ever remember is being chastised by JC, your support tech. Yeah, he's named JC, and he's sort of a wild cartoon version of John Carmack. More on him later. I'm rusty, but I'm realizing the game isn't as mindless as I thought it might be. If I try to go back to the bank vault, automated guns open up on me. I have to find the key, which kind of looks like any other scenery, then open up a bank terminal to disarm the security and find the vault code. Oh yeah, I'm hacking the game to run it in widescreen, but unfortunately the terminal screens get cropped. It also means the cutscenes are cropped too, but whatever, the game mostly works. Mostly. You may notice these little edges here. That has something to do with me applying anti-aliasing. I can only get multi-sampling to work. Actually, I did get super sampling to work, but look at this. It's a total blur fest. But now the terminal looks nice. I haven't checked to see if it does this on AMD cards or old NVIDIA ones. I actually couldn't get it to work 3D accelerated until I read about a tip to rename it to Quake 2, then bam, worked. It would be nice if technology had standards. I'm getting lost. Though it's a good kind of lost, from branching pathways. It's hard to explain, but the level design has a kind of elegance to it, where it loops back on itself and still has a natural-ish feeling. For 98, it's nice to look at. Well, wait, that's not. Wow, damn. That's not a lot of faith in hardware at the time. A TNT couldn't render all those plants, huh? Okay, I forgot to tune the graphics settings, but even if I turn everything all the way up, we still don't get the back plants. Man, but this is the Quake 2 engine. Let's see if we can push this beyond maximum. Yep, I found a variable list. Let's try this. Aha! There we go. See, the detail distance was only set to 1.5 million. Looks like 3 million does the job. 3 million what, you may ask? There's a lot of little Easter eggs. By SiN, I need a Viper. Monica Lewinsky, Employee of the Year. Okay, besides corporate police, do we have any indicator this game takes place in 2037? Not yet. Lose 60 pounds in a day. Ask me how. I feel like this could be the beginning of an entire separate storyline right here. Probably a horror. But enough bank. Let's find Mancini. And once again, I'm being made to think more than I'm used to for a game about shooting dudes in the face.
I got a present for you, Blade.
Oh shit.
Mancini drops a bomb, traps me in, and I have to find a way out in time or, die. The music here is badass. This actually creates a conflict because I'm getting psyched. I'm right on his tail, blowing dudes away, the music rules. Everything makes me wish I could keep chasing him and maybe just start beating guys with a 2x4 lying around. The mood's good. But then they throw complications and now it's turning back into an FPS where I'm just wandering around. I'm actually impressed with how lost I'm getting. I did find a secret room though. Hey buddy. Leave me alone. Ship's a whore. I don't know, the packaging looks more like Oreos to me. Back to the chase, I find the cash the crook stashed in a dumpster. Again, JC congratulates me, but I think that might not affect anything else. And now the game is making me do careful platforming. Really? Yeah, the same game with this bizarre, sometimes laggy movement is making me perform careful jumps. This is not your strength, SiN. Damn, that is some sexy Quake 2 lighting though. And another cutscene. Even though I'm hot on his trail, Mancini finds time to meet up with his boss, Alexis Sinclair. Apparently, he was only supposed to steal a safety deposit box, and it was his brilliant idea to rob the whole bank, despite having obvious funding to begin with. So she injects him with something, he starts screaming, all's well that ends well. Okay, normally I wouldn't bring this up, but I would feel remiss if I didn't. You can sometimes tell what a game prioritizes. In SiN, everything's kind of blocky. Plus, you may have noticed this weird optimization in Quake 2 games where you get this wobbly effect. It has something to do with how the engine rounds off where the vertices are supposed to be? I don't know, but the point is our graphics budget is stretched thin. We can't even spare the polygons to render these plants without going beyond maximum quality. Nor can we get moving lips on characters in cutscenes. And don't say that's because of Quake 2. Here's some Quake 2 animation with moving lips.
Do you think Oswald acted alone?
So in the midst of these compromises, we get very detailed bouncing boob physics. It's obvious this was top priority in development. Her boobs are more important than any words coming out of people's mouths. So that says to me, this game is targeted for teenage boys. Except it's a mature-rated game. Although in '98, that didn't really impede teenagers from buying copies too much. So maybe that was strategic marketing, but when you combine that with this Saturday morning cartoon writing, I can see SiN isn't just a game for adolescents. It's an adolescent game. It's all over the place with the age demographics. It's got cool, mature action.
Holy shit!
Feels targeted for 13 to 15-year-olds, and is written for 6 to 10-year-olds. I remember thinking this writing was kind of painful as a teenager. Moving on, we start a new level at, oh! Enemy in the dumpster, a classic. The game does keep you on your toes. For example, I get to the top here and the only way to go is to follow Mancini to that other building. I don't know, does this jump look doable? Kind of, maybe, not really? Whoop! Yeah, the game pushes you. And at the construction site, as much as the game emphasizes not shooting civilians, they sent unarmored construction workers to come kill you. Thankfully, the AI is not the game's strong point. This is sending me mixed signals because I'm used to games where every single person is out to kill you, and ones where you have to watch out for civilians. But it feels like SiN can't decide. It can't really decide on anything. I thought I was coming here to shoot dudes. Instead, I need to figure out that I can use this wrecking ball to create a new pathway. Except there's nothing up here. There is no point to this at all. Okay. Instead, I need to figure out that blowing up explosive canisters isn't enough to take out a chain link fence, so I need to talk to the foreman to give me the key. Oh, now I see. That path is if I just wanted to drop down and take fall damage instead. There's a method to the madness. One thing to understand is games around this time were constantly trying to show off what they could do in the engine. That's why we have the wrecking ball, why you need to shoot a beam to smash a pipe to flood the pit so you can get out. It's too dark and you don't have a flashlight, so drop some glow sticks. You can open cabinets, open drawers, flush toilets, use the sink. If you shoot the sign at the start, it crashes into the bank in the next level. And you can even hack the ATMs to transfer money to your account, even though none of this affects anything? This is all for the sole purpose of trying to wow the player at the time, which is why we have a quad bike available for what may be the most pointless vehicle section of any game. The controls are terrible, but we have our FOV turned up so it looks like we're going fast. And hey, have the bad guys wait on the stairs where I can't reach them. Oh cool, I bumped one. Now it's easy to criticize, but I think I know what was happening here. They probably wanted to have this big quad bike chase sequence through the city, but then realized this is the Quake 2 engine. So this is their aspirations crashing into reality. I would be very surprised if this sequence as you see it was the plan from the beginning. And my standards weren't high, but the AI is continuing not to impress. Just before the quad bike section, I rescued the hostage, so the first thing she did is run towards her captor. Yeah, lady, run towards the bad man with the gun so I can't get a clean shot. Jesus Christ, let me get his friend first then. Okay, good, she finally got away from him. Again. The abandoned subway. Well, I have to say, this is actually competitive with Deus Ex's Subway, and SiN was almost 2 years earlier. It's sufficiently dingy, and hey, the music is pretty good here too. Boom, 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 boom. It has this real lurking feel to it. I like it. What I don't like are—
Holy shit, JC.
Oh God, he's gonna kill us! Die! Die! Die!
Well, why don't you go find out?
Yeah, I forgot to mention there was another cutscene where Mancini transformed into a mutant. I wasn't impressed by this transition even back then, but hey, I am completely on board the super mutant train here. In fact, I feel like the industry has shied away from mutants as your enemy nowadays. They're one of my favorites. This is what good pacing looks like. We didn't start with the mutants, this was a curveball, and it's a good one. What I was going to say is what I don't like are the rats. They're like little homing missiles that bite you at every opportunity. I'll think I've shot them all, then I turn around and there's more. There's good dialogue from the bums, though our volume varies quite a bit.
Go away! Yeah, I owed someone for it back in the 90s. My name is Gates. I don't know what's up. Get away from my fire.
Oh wow, another Clinton joke again. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be so topical in 2037. I'm really wishing they stepped up the AI here. I don't like having a firefight with these bumps standing around as human obstacles. You know, there's a reason they yell "get down" in action movies. Here he is again! Oh God, we've clipped into the same space! I'm stuck inside him and he does melee damage! Ah! Oh God, that messed me up.
Bad feeling about this blade.
It's kind of incredible I was able to scrape by with almost no health after this. Well, your armor really does do something. This part was so tense for me because I thought I wasn't gonna make it. But I took down a few guys, then bam, health back to 100. Those are some big swings. And look at this, a moving train car. Hey everybody, this game predates Half-Life. I mean, only by about 2 weeks, but still, it came out first. Oh God, here he is again. I have no maneuverability. Plus, whenever I touch the sides, there's that weird lag delay, making this all worse. I mean, what am I expected to do here? You're just locked in a box with him while he beats you to death. This is bad. He utterly savaged me before running off to go kill civilians. I'm sufficiently softened up for the boss fight, and yeah, I died. I tried again and again, but this train car is always a crapshoot. This is just some evil design right here. Well, I finally get him, and just to add to things literally no one else is going to say, this is actually the first OpenGL game I saw in stereoscopic vision on the Elsa Revelators. I was using an OpenGL to Direct 3D wrapper to get it to work. I remember being able to see through that window to the subway car and thought it was amazing. Hey, wanna see some poor man's 3D? Close one of your eyes and look at this. Eh? Oh, and it's worth stating I'm running a patched version of the game, but something got messed up along the way, because the game decided to play multiple music tracks that don't belong here on top of the dialogue.
Phew, this thing smells like a dried out turd.
Yeah, this is a nightmare. It didn't used to sound like that. This actually happened at the beginning too, but I edited around that. I hope this stops. I like this music snippet here. It reminds me of Aeon Flux. Back at base, JC and Blade discovered that the mutant was Mancini, and he had the street drug U4 in him, manufactured by SiN. I like how both their reactions are genuine disappointment because the CEO, Alexis Sinclair, is hot and acting evil. What a tragedy.
Who would have thought a babe like Alexis would be behind all this?
Shit. Hot piece like that and she's into this. Well, damn.
Yeah, even now, I don't know why this game is called SiN. It's just there. The villain is Alexis Sinclair running SiNtech.
Sensational.
SiN was later dethroned for this sort of thing, though, since I think the winner would have to be Crytek, who developed the Cry engine for their breakout games Far Cry and Crysis. I also don't know why SiN capitalizes the N. I remember the movie Existence did that, but that's probably because David Cronenberg is insane. Really, the story to this game almost doesn't matter. I mean, I like having a story and cutscenes and the cooldown between missions, but the dialogue is still painful. You know, a while ago, I tried to go back and watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles since I liked that as a kid, and I couldn't. The writing was too bad if you're an adult.
Michelangelo, I do believe you finally had one pizza too many.
It's for kids. It's a kids show. I just couldn't go back. I still loved how imaginative it was, but I had to give up after a few episodes. Though I did find the origin of the turtle van interesting. Do you know how the Turtles got the turtle van? They straight up stole it from Baxter Stockman, and he wasn't even a bad guy at the time. He was a down-on-his-luck inventor with some minor mental health problems trying to pitch his mousetrap. He couldn't find any work, and Shredder was the only person there for him. So he got hired to build his mouser robots. The Turtles heard about this, assumed guilt by association, so they tied him to a lamppost, looted his apartment, and stole his van. Your classic home invasion. Then they modded it, and that's the story of how they got the turtle van. I thought the show would reconcile this later, but no, that's it. I honestly felt sorry for him. Baxter Stockman was a victim, and the Turtles robbed him of everything and never looked back. April O'Neil was an accessory, too. Anyway, I realized SiN and the Ninja Turtles have a lot in common. Both have non-stop city crime fighting and mutants gone wild.
Most people would consider this to be a bit strange, don't you think, JC?
Ninja Turtles is for kids, SiN is for adolescents. Now we just need something for adults. Well, the irony is we almost got it. In the manual. Yeah, the game's writing is painful, but the manuals is interesting. It has all this cool comic art and is closer to something like Max Payne or Transmetropolitan's writing. Okay, I'm overselling it. It's not that good, but the writing in the manual is a world apart from the games. What happened? We do get the backstory on Blade and JC. So yeah, JC is supposed to be a parody of John Carmack. He looks like a 90s John Carmack and is a super hacker, though personality-wise, I don't know if he's that close. Every clip I've seen of John Carmack, he comes across as very calm. Though he did own a Ferrari F50, so maybe he's like JC and is just calm for the camera. Carmack to me is this person who keeps ending up in fields I wish there was a genius like him working in at the time. He spent most of his career advancing 3D graphics. Then once games were looking great, he moved over to VR, and look how much that has progressed in the past few years. Now he says he's moving on to AI, which is exactly where I think all the coolest stuff is happening with technology. I've said in another video, we're not going to live to see the singularity in AIs that are self-aware. I still stand by that. In fact, I wish there was a way I could take bets on it. But if the singularity were to happen, I'd like to think it would be because Carmack was contracted to create a better enemy AI for first-person shooters. That's where it would all start. And now it's time for the worst part of the game, alright! Yeah, stealth section, that belongs here, right? This game is a good fit for stealth gameplay. It sucks, it just sucks. Yeah, you know this is a stealth mission when you walk into the front lobby unarmed, and as soon as the secretary sees you, she hits the alarm and turret guns start chewing you apart. I don't like stealth games. Now, I've said on the show before, I'm not a big fan of attacking women. Well, that's too bad, because you're supposed to beat her to death or something. Yeah, see? There's my victory music. Primary objective accomplished. After killing her, it's best if you just chase down the workers and kill them too, to prevent them from hitting the alarm. Damn it. This level actually isn't as hard for me this time around, not because I remember what to do, I don't, but because when I first played this, I was trying to minimize civilian casualties. You know, like the game was training you to do in all the previous levels. But now that I'm a more experienced gamer, I can see my life is going to be easier if I just murder everyone like I'm in a slasher film. Oh damn it, I killed him in the hallway. Not to fear. I think this is the only time I've ever been happy for bodies to fade. Normally, I want to see the fruits of my labor and see bodies everywhere. No fading ever. Memory budget be damned. But since this is stealth, yeah, that body will be nice and gone before anybody walks through here. While I hate the stealth, again, the layout has this charm to it I can't explain. It's nice. And here's a recurring theme in the game. You can either have your pain now or have it later. Look at this secret. I have to jump off a moving ceiling fan, then do a mid-air crouch in time to get into the vent. Actually, this isn't even considered a secret by the game. It's just the better way to go through the level. It took me a few times. That lets me crawl through this extensive ventilation system to shut down a fan, which I think helps me later. On the next level, it's more stealth with you disguised as a lab worker, but it's all a farce. They're going to make you, so just kill this secretary, crawl into the vents, head down the vents, then get wedged against a fan blade so you can't move, and get stuck here forever because I wasn't kidding, you cannot move out of this. There is nothing you can do, you are stuck here. But hey, this is easier than going through the security gate where they just gun you down or cutting lasers, I forget. I hate this level. I just keep getting lost, absolutely everything is locked, then you have to wander aimlessly for a key. Enemies seem to keep popping out of nowhere, and I think there was a bug where when I disabled the alarm, it sets off the sound, and it just keeps going. The actual level layout is once again great, but the game design here is making me hate myself. The next level is the warehouse, and it's a breath of fresh air. Listen to the music. Is this the best warehouse music you've heard? I mean, maybe there's some NES warehouse music that tops it, but this is the best I can think of. And look at that city skyline. And the moon. Yeah, this is another candidate for texture upscaling, huh? We fight inside and out. They are piling in here. The action's good. There's a lot going on with these billboards. GIMP needed. Impeach everyone. Works for me. This one's apparently a sheep sex service. A trucker's dream pal. Wow.
Score!
Jesus Christ. The inside is just a bunch of crates, but again, this level design just ties it all together. There are secrets, verticality. I don't know why, but the level design feels really fresh compared to a lot of modern stuff. I like this lighting here too. I don't like how as soon as I open a door, there's a turret gun firing at me, and I have to learn the hard way this door is locked, so I have to run through a gauntlet of turrets just chewing me up with no time to think. I mean, I know I can load my game, but this isn't high on the fun scale. Well, it's a good thing I stopped having fun, because while the stealth level was the worst, I remember not liking this next level too. Let's see if we can find out why. I found out why. Okay, first, it's a bunch of cramped corridors. While it's not impossible for me to like those, these aren't doing it for me. Especially when the turret guns are invulnerable to damage, and I have to run down a hallway with 3 of them firing into me, only to find that it's a locked door. God, aren't these the best conditions to solve a puzzle? And I swear, once I get farther along, I think we have infinite enemy spawning? SiN is very nuanced about how it does this. I never see them coming. I just turn around and there they are. It makes me question if I'm just fighting a whole lot of enemies, or if they really are going to come at me forever. I think they really are going to keep coming at me. Well, apparently this isn't enough henchmen for Alexis, so she's strogifying corpses to fill in the gaps. That's cool, but I don't have time to look at anything without getting shot again by the Infinity Squad. Getting lost in locked hallways with invincible turret guns while being chased by infinite enemies isn't my thing. This is pain. The music's driving me a little crazy too. Orgy at 8 o'clock, Tom does it again. I would read that one. Okay, let's get out of here. Now, you can go to a secret level from here to a missile silo, but it's just a bunch of soulless corridors. I hate it, so we're skipping that. We get another cutscene on how Alexis is planning on poisoning the water supply, so everyone turns into her mutant slave. Yeah, this isn't one of those moral gray zone games. I like the change of pace of exploring an overpass and the great outdoors that Quake 2 can provide. Well, enough of that, down into the sewers. It's relatively ho-hum, but I'm liking the elegance of this level design. I can't explain it, just that my brain approves. The music is good here. It lets me revel in my sewer glory. And we have branching levels again. They want you to go topside, but if you want to drown in the next level, you should go this way instead. Topside, 2 snipers shoot me the second I appear. I guess we're in the right place. These snipers really hurt, and honestly, this is smart placement if you wanted to kill somebody. You know how some games feel too pandering and staged, and it sort of takes you out of the game? Yeah, SiN doesn't do that. I feel like everyone involved really wants me dead. I've lost track of how many ambushes there have been so far, but it's a lot. It says something about the designer's intentions when the enemy is already facing you, waiting to fire the second you open a new door. You can't shoot through doors either. You have to open them up and take your medicine. But look at that view. There's a helicopter fight on the dam, but I learned the hard way that seeing a guy you can shoot is just an illusion. You can't hit him, only the vehicle itself. Ah, kaboom! This is probably my favorite part of the game. The moody, overcast sky. A damn impressive view for Quake 2. Looks great underwater, too. The music here has a mood and reminds me a little bit of Castlevania. And the map still has its usual intricacies I like for reasons I can't explain. See, it's not just about having multiple paths you can go, it's about how everything is put together. I'm pretty sure there were some mapping geniuses involved in this game. Again, I warned you the nostalgia might be blinding me. Oh, I guess now I can talk about the beginning intro video. It's just a bunch of headlines about how SiN is up to no good, but once again, I was impressed with the music. One of the instruments, I don't know how to explain it, but you know that sound wolves or dogs make just before they attack you? And it's something like that. The waterworks is more of that overcast mood and great level layout. I'm loving this, but the level is not loving me. This is the first time in any game I've ever been killed by the parking lot. I wasn't shot off camera, it's just death by parking lot. This same area also has a pretty big middle finger to the player, which I can't tell is on purpose or not. Hey, a mini courtyard. Anything over there? No, nothing here. Okay, well, I'll come back and... This is a tricky jump. Yeah, so tricky, I think it's impossible. I tried every combination I possibly could of jumping and ducking. It's not happening. This area is a roach motel for players. You don't check out. Whoa, look at the scientists bringing the heat. Again, this level is great, but the objectives make me wonder if they had an actual hydroelectric plant worker on staff. Okay, SiN is trying to poison the water supply, so we need to shut down the water flow. So we need to drain the tanks. Oh shit.
You need to power down the mixing machinery before you drain the tanks outside.
All right, JC, I wasn't born in a barn. Of course I know I need to shut down the clarifier pumps before draining them. I just turned the wrong valve, that's all. See, what I should have done is get the key to the waterworks, turn off the red, blue, and yellow clarifier pumps, then drain the blue, red, and yellow tanks, then drain the sewage intake valves. Oh wait, no. I blew up the plant, game over.
Remember though, you need to shut down the pumps before you close off the valve.
Yeah, all right, I've got this. See, what you do is get the key to the waterworks, turn off the red, blue, and yellow clarifier pumps, drain the blue, red, and yellow clarifier tanks, then drain the blue, red, and yellow filter tanks. Then turn off the yellow, red, and blue sewage intake pumps naturally before you turn off the red, yellow, and blue sewage intake valves. But of course, you've got to get up pretty early in the morning to outwit SiN because they've already moved on to dumping mutagen into the outflow docks. So you've got to head over there to turn the control valves for the yellow lock inflow and outflow, don't forget that, the red inflow and outflow, and you've got it, the blue inflow and outflow valves. Then you stop the contamination. See, it was just 22 easy steps to stop the— wait, no. This last part's really hard because there's this giant mutant duo, Eon and Peon, that kicks my ass all over the plant. These guys are fuckers. They would be a good challenge in a straight up fight, but having to fight them while you're turning off the valves with a timer going at specific time intervals, and you're slowed down by the water and klutzy ladder grabbing while they can jump all over the place and fling bio-goo, it's hard. This was a hard boss fight. I'm still a bit stunned by this level design. Now again, SiN came out before Half-Life and was competing against it. They knew that too. All I can figure is somebody at Ritual said, we're not gonna let this Valve company show us up. Not only will we be first to market, but we're gonna have more valves in our game than they have in theirs. We're going to out-Valve Valve. Well, I guess they did. And speaking of Valve, it's well known that Half-Life sucked the air out of the room for other shooters when it was released. SiN not being an exception. It did okay, but not great. But that's not the whole story. There's another reason SiN didn't become more well known. When it was released, it had a lot of bugs. Now they patched it a month after release, but the patch was almost 19 megs. Let me explain something, because people of the future, hell, people now aren't going to understand. A 19 meg patch for a game back then was kind of unheard of. To make matters worse, this was just bug fixes, nothing new added. Okay, it added a new multiplayer map, but I checked, that was only 200K. It was almost 19 megs compressed of bug fixes. That is enormous for the time. See, in the old days, you had one chance to get your game right. If it shipped with bugs, too bad, because that sucker was shipped on a disc, stamped on a CD, assembled in a cartridge. It was done. It's over. There was no patch. Well, SiN came out during a time where patches were the hip new thing, but by no means something you could count on your users being able to download. A lot of them might not have internet, or if they did, were they really going to bother seeking it out on dial-up and tying up the phone for an hour downloading a patch that large? Remember, 56K was your theoretical maximum, not your actual speed. What if they were billed by the hour for their internet? So Ritual shipped a half-broken game requiring a huge patch that most people weren't going to be getting. In other words, SiN faltered because they released their game using modern development practices. How many major game releases nowadays require a day one patch? A lot, right? That's because as internet became more common, publishers realized they could get away with releasing what's essentially a beta product and push developers to the brink to finish the game just in time for release instead of the old ways of needing to be done before you published. If a game was actually finished when it shipped, there would be no such thing as a day one patch, because developers would have already squashed all the bugs they could find and would have to wait on feedback from players before discovering more. But that is not how we do things now, huh? If you tried to release games in '98 the way you do now, you would get wrecked as a developer. And that's kind of what happened with SiN. Well, back to the story, I guess. It turns out trying to infect the water supply for the city was just a diversion tactic. Yeah, that was a pretty big diversion. I think I'd fall for that one too. Alexis's real plan was to steal some nuclear weapons to destroy the Northwest, I think? I don't know, but I respect the ambition. She's one of these villains who's so bad that her motivations just don't even matter. Well, time to go get the missiles. That takes us on a boat ride approaching an oil rig. This is ambitious for '98, and it came out pretty well. It's your typical oil rig, but the map design continues to impress me. I mean, look at that. And again, the music here is great. It's honestly giving me a Castlevania feel again. Tell me this couldn't almost work for a Castlevania level. Exquisite. And because this is a game that keeps on giving, the oil rig takes us down to an underwater base, which is kind of annoying until you get a rebreather, and then voila, the ocean floor. This is majestic. I mean, look at this. Pulling this off in the Quake 2 engine? Superb. I've never really liked swimming sections, and I actually don't really here either. But the sheer wow factor is still working on me now. And it's short, but this might be my second favorite underwater music. Because, you know, nothing's gonna top Donkey Kong Country there. But this is great. And that takes us to the jungle. My god, the ambition. A jungle in the Quake 2 engine. Not only that, it has another branching map of even more jungle. Amazing. What's not amazing is the snipers are back, which are only irritating at first, but that takes us to the gorge, where this got really bad. Oh look, it's our old friend Quad Bike. Now that I'm driving for more than 5 seconds, I'm seeing just how bad it actually is. I've said before that Test Drive 3 has the worst steering I've ever seen. I think that's probably still true, but this is very close. The gorge run is impressive for the time, but my bike usually explodes right at the end with snipers all around me, so I'm dead within seconds. Now you think it's a speed boost to death, and it is, but going slowly leads to more enemies coming out of nowhere, and everybody has a rocket launcher now. This might be my fault though, since I had the option earlier to send cleaning supplies here instead of weapons and just ignored it. Maybe that one did something. And look at this, walking forward slowly, pop, sniped. Yeah, you have to inch forward slowly because there was a sniper right there above me at my back, but if I go slowly, then the respawning enemies show up. And because games are usually stupid, after taking down a small army, one cutscene and a punch to the head brings me down. I'm injected with U4, and now I'm a mutant. I remember this being the last part I don't like. Let's see why. Yeah, it's because there's nothing but non-stop turret guns, locked doors, and no options. All I can do here is die. I legitimately had to use a walkthrough for this. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, okay. I found the problem. When there was a jailbreak and the other mutant goes for the guard, I wasn't supposed to make my escape. I was supposed to stand there like a domesticated animal and then follow a series of tests. Yeah, that's normally what you do in jailbreaks in an action game, right? Well, I find my way over to a machine that undoes the mutation, which, honestly, I think is pretty lame. That shit needs to be permanent. Or at the very least, have Blade's body disfigured so badly he has to wear a mask to be seen in public, and has off and on headaches for the rest of his life? Hey, Quake 4 did that right. He retained his mind, but he got mutilated and he's a freak for life now. There's no going back. This led me through the Xenomorphic Labs, and I was honestly shocked how short this level was. So much so, it inspired me to speedrun it. 26 seconds. There's probably more to it since this game has endless secrets, but yeah, it's short. There are more labs after this, and it's more the same, but again, I have to comment on this inspired music. The squeaking represents the fighting spirit of the mutant. Well, the good music is not stopping because we exit to the Sinclair mansion itself. You actually just got a little classier from listening to this. Alexis is a freak, and her art is about what I'd expect, actually. Oh, I know who that is. That's Level Lord, one of the map designers to this game, and certainly one of the reasons so much of it is so good. I don't know much about him, but I do remember there might be a lot of stories about him out there. He looks like he could be the Salvador Dali of map design. I think I heard he took a lot of acid. Well, it paid off, because one of the most memorable parts of this game for me was in the multiplayer, actually, where there was an Escher-inspired map, and you could walk through doorways to change what your personal gravity was. I have vivid memories of seeing another player looking exactly like me, both of us shooting at each other, each of us upside down from the other, and this music was playing. I think I got him, but did I really win? The mansion is full of cheap-ass tricks, though, and has security lasers I'm not sure I can bypass, and has what I would call a realistic number of snipers on the rooftops for a cartel operation. Seriously, you set one foot into a new room, you're getting shot.
Oh, man.
Check it out. They one-shotted me in the back of the head here while I was admiring the fossilized alien skeleton.
Blade, come in, Blade.
Mixed feelings about this, because this actually is what I would expect going up against security of someone insanely rich trying to take over the world. But it's not fun actually living it. Well, we're getting close. I make it to a connected missile silo, and silly me, I thought I should shoot the technicians arming a nuclear missile aimed at the US. But JC chastises me for it.
Blade, what are you doing, man? Those are friendly.
Well, excuse me all to hell. He didn't have a problem when I killed lab workers. I like big entrances. Moving on, we get more broken music while Alexis gives her speech of world domination.
Welcome to the dawn of a new age.
New dawn my ass, you wacky bitch.
I like Blade. We get one last cheap trick, and here it is. The final boss. Her father, which she super mutated. I think it was her. He's a serious bastard until I learn his pattern and engage in rocket peekaboo sessions for 10 minutes. I am genuinely curious how many hit points he has. It's gotta be in the tens of thousands. Down he goes.
Die, you ugly son of a bitch!
And the ending. Oh dear. Well, it's like I said, this is an adolescent game. So after all he's been through, John R. Blade, a 30-year-old ex-military, ex-gang member, head of a security corporation, gets bashful when Alexis starts spreading her legs in a miniskirt.
Now pay attention, because I have something very special to show you. Watch.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, if you're 13 years old, I guess this makes sense. Well, she teleports out. Maybe? It's never explained. And hey, I could see a bullet passing through her trail, but has it ever bugged anyone else how in Star Trek, occasionally they fire a phaser at their transporting particles? I mean, wouldn't that cook some of them? So you're maybe seriously messed up when you rematerialize? And that is the game! And you can tell this was heartfelt from a small team because they all give their own individual thanks in the credits. The sex sheep was real, apparently. Sort of. And by the end, they're just thanking everyone, including 9 Inch Nails, Jackie Chan, StarCraft, The Simpsons, everybody. Games like this don't get made by large corporations. But wait, there's more! We're going into overtime. You may want to take a break here. Yeah, Wages of SiN. An expansion made by a different developer that gives you plenty to chew on if you are hungry for more SiN. And I'm hungry. We open with a lavish in-game cinematic, and it's almost painful to watch. Not because it's poorly done, but because you can see the quality and ambition shining through. I mean, look at these shots. But this is still the Quake 2 engine. Look, they're trying to show the whole city of Freeport. I feel bad for everyone involved. Well, Alexis is still gone, but a mafia guy is moving in to manufacture U4 for his crime empire. Gotta stop that. I can't believe how long this goes on, with a car chase scene. A car chase scene in id Tech 2. Okay. Well, we start investigating murders, and the game is showing off how we can climb ropes now. The sky is the limit, people. The sad part is, these might be the easiest and most intuitive controls for climbing a rope in a game that I've ever used. It's shockingly good for what sounds like a nightmare on paper. There are mutants. Lots of mutants. Good thing we have akimbo pistols now. There's several new weapons. This is exactly the sort of thing you want to see in an expansion. New story, new levels, new mechanics and enemies, same voice actors. There's a little bit of new music, but it's mostly repurposing. And speaking of akimbo pistols, I've heard that's super impractical, so any game even trying to be serious shouldn't have those. So yeah, they're a good addition here. The levels are good, but I feel like some of the magic from before is gone. Not that I don't like how the mutants have been building an underground shrine to their creator. Oh! Now that's an entrance. There's a lot to like here. Like this voice actor. This might be my favorite performance out of both games.
They're holding my daughter hostage!
Where is she?
I don't know!
My fondness for the game completely evaporated in this level. This is the bad kind of lost. Once you've killed every person you can find and have circled the map 5 times, it's not a good feeling. I finally had to look up what to do and it still wasn't obvious. It involves some passcodes which I thought I already had, but maybe they work on one computer and not the other, and I don't know which account is relevant? No, this feels like bookkeeping. The art museum was good. I honestly can't think of a better place to have a shootout. There's a whole lot of casino levels at the end. Not my thing, even though the music was spot on. I think there were a bunch of naked women on this level. Anyway, that's Wages of Sin. A good detour, but not up to the original, I think. But wait! There's more! SiN got a movie! Yeah, for some reason an anime studio made a movie on the game. I saw it. I don't recommend it. It feels like another movie that they just pasted SiN characters on top of. The whole thing has this dark and somber tone to it. No. Tone-wise, SiN is closer to Commando.
Why not?
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
You did.
I lied.
I mean, the first thing they do in the movie is kill off JC. Oh yeah, that's a great start. I would say don't watch it unless you're desperate for more SiN, which, hey, I understand. But I saw a Penny Arcade comic where they used the metaphor of a baby elephant fondling the bones of its ancestors. Yeah, that's what watching this feels like. Just skip it. Wait, no, the opening credits music is sick. Yeah, watch that part. Skip the rest of it. And finally, we have SiN Episodes Emergence. Man, this one stings. A 9-episode sequel to SiN. What more could I ask for? A kick to the stomach, that's what. It got canceled after the first episode. There is no God. Well, let's take a look at what we did get. We got lots of characters whom I have no idea who they are. Alexis is back. No explanation why. This shot of her looks more than a little bit like my ex. From the neck up, anyway. Visually, I think this game's a home run. Lots of evening lighting, plus now Freeport actually looks like it's in the future. Some pretty good locales for a starter episode. The pacing is gold, too. A warehouse, docks, a lighthouse. Okay, the tanker level kinda sucks. But then we get a big mutant boss fight. Then we have this long office space high-rise ascension to a climactic rooftop battle. You only get 3 weapons, but they're all good and meaty. Plus, I assumed it was gonna be like Doom, where you get a new weapon in each episode. And this was just the first one. Plus, the game fixed what is arguably one of the biggest shortcomings of the original. Not being able to pistol whip enemies in the face. Yeah, this was on the Source engine. And I can tell you, some of these animations are exactly from Half-Life 2. I've seen those more than a few times. But like a half-drained vampire victim, the game did get some life sucked out of it. Blade is now a mute. I swear to God, he says maybe 3 lines.
Talk to me, Jessica.
No, Blade was good. More Blade. The writing graduated from a Saturday morning cartoon to soulless, soon-to-be-canceled TV show status, except we lost the humor. That's bad. You can tell they tied it up and stuffed it in the trunk, though, because you see signs of it trying to break free.
Who knew it could be so good? Great.
Yeah, grape. Who knew? The music. Oh man, this took a dive. The whole thing is this bland and generic action movie symphony. The exception is the menu theme. This one is polarizing. I love it. I think it sounds almost like a Bond theme. Anyway, I got so disappointed by the music, I sought out the composer Zak Belica and asked him what happened. I was hoping to show you his reply, but I'm currently locked out of that email address. Need to contact the university. Anyway, his answer twisted the knife. He knew it was watered down. He said upper management didn't want all the cool and distinctive music SiN had because they were afraid it would alienate people. Yeah, who would want great music in the sequel? He said he had to fight to keep the menu theme. No wonder that's the only part I liked. He also said this level of control was only for episode 1. In episode 2, he was gonna have carte blanche with the music, and Blade was gonna talk a lot more. Ouch! So there you go. If you ever wonder why music sounds bland in a lot of modern games, in this case, it was the suits putting their hand in the soup thinking they were chefs. There's an overwhelming feeling I get from playing SiN Episodes, and that it feels like the potential is there waiting to break free. You know how in the Addams Family movie, where part of the plot is Fester has lost his memory, and he's trying to get acclimated back into the family? Deep down inside, he's still Fester. He just needs to wake up, remember who he is. That's SiN Episodes all over. Oh man, bragging how you beat Duke Nukem Forever to market, huh? This is a situation where there are no winners. Everyone loses. Now we're almost done here, but I promised a bonus for you in this episode. Well, I thought I had a good one, and I sort of do. It's like I had a full Lego set for you, then half of it got run over by a car, but some of the pieces are still good. Now, as you gathered, I'm a fan of the music to SiN. But what sucks about it is that damn 22 kilohertz compressed wave format common in the 90s. Well, this bugged me so much that I reached out to Zak Belica a few years after it came out, asking if there was any way to get this in higher quality. Turns out, yes. He sent me a CD containing high bitrate MP3s of an unreleased CD soundtrack version of the game. It doesn't have all the music, but it does have a good chunk. Unfortunately, looking back on this, I see now he made a mistake and downmixed a lot of the tracks to mono. I can't win. And you know what? I even bothered him again later because that wasn't all the music. And he managed to scrape together a few more tracks as he was getting shut out of the building as Ritual was being bought out. Those are in stereo, and as far as I know, no one besides me and Zak Belica are in possession of any of this. At least I got the sewer glory music. Anyway, I failed. I didn't get all the music to SiN in CD quality, and Zak Belica didn't take a restraining order out against me, so that means I didn't try hard enough. I'm sorry, everyone. I'll be releasing everything I have. I didn't mean to be sitting on it for so long. You'd think when I released the Rama soundtrack, it would have occurred to me to release SiN's also? But nope, I didn't connect the dots. I think what needs to happen is just have a modern AI tear into the 22 kilohertz stuff and fill in the gaps to intelligently convert it to CD quality. Sanitarium and Torrance Passage could use something like this too. I'm pretty sure this could be done because you could just train the AI from converting regular CD audio. Anyway, I'm releasing everything I have. I recommend getting it while it's hot, since I'm doing this abandonware style. I don't think I'm sitting on any more music that's planetary rare like this. Wait, nope, I am. Might as well do that now too. Also from Zak Belica, he also sent me the official unreleased CD soundtrack to Heavy Metal Fact 2. Wow, don't have time to go into this game now, but it was a perfect IP match for Ritual, since it was all about women with not a lot of clothes on and shooting things. That was totally their wheelhouse. I've only seen the Heavy Metal movies. I haven't read the magazine, but if it's like the movies, it's that special blend of totally awesome and stupid. And that's the episode. I don't know what to say about SiN, except it's really good stuff when it's not awful. That's a recommendation, right? It's the sort of game begging for a spiritual successor. Plus, unlike Deus Ex, a SiN successor is not a game that requires really smart or educated people to make. We could still see one someday. We need more SiN. There's just too many monsters and bad guys in the future that haven't been shot. That's the feeling I have looking at this now. Maybe you have it too, sinners. We could have had 9 episodes. Jesus Christ. Oh, 49% interest, huh? Okay, yeah, this does take place in the future.